My family video, we will be assessing a mother that has recently been divorced. Her divorce was finalized 5 months ago. She has a 14-year-old daughter that has just found out that she is 3 months pregnant. Um, the father of the 14-year-old daughter is not paying any child support or does not visit on a regular basis, and the clients are being seen to try to address the issue of what is the best interest of the unborn child. And the 14-year-old daughter and the mother are in a disagreement as to if adoption is going to be the right option. During today's session, we hope to address which of the options, adoption, abortion, or open adoption or closed adoption, are in the best interest of the child.
Hi, ladies. How have y'all been this week?
Good. Okay.
Things going any better?
No. It's about the same.
The same.
Mm-hmm.
The last time we left off with our meeting, you all were going home to look at options for what we were going to do with the baby. Did y'all look at anything or talk about any options?
Yeah, we've looked. I mean, there's abortion and adoption, but that doesn't mean anything to me.
It just basically ends in an argument because our decisions aren't our. I would prefer to look at adoption. She wants to keep the baby, so we have differences, and it always just ends in an argument.
So how do you see your life changing if you keep the baby?
Well, I mean, I'll have to take care of it. I'll have to feed it. I'll have to stay up at night with it. I'll have to arrange for a sitter while I'm at school, but I mean, it's possible and it's something I want to do.
How do you plan on supporting the child if you keep it?
Well, I mean, there's WIC, and then I could get other assistance, and then right after it's born, I'll be old enough to get a job, so I'll try to get a job. And then my dad said he'll help pay for it, and then she might help pay for it, but I doubt that.
Mom, have you explained how hard it is to raise a child? And
I have. It really isn't sinking in really good. That I mean, I can't help much because of I work full time, but that's to keep the bills paid and to keep a roof over her head. And then her father, he doesn't even pay child support for her, so I just don't see him paying to support the grandchild. And the boyfriend, he's here now, but that may not last.
okay.
I just don't feel like she understands the expense of having a baby and the time. She says she's going to work, which is fine, but what about a sitter? She doesn't understand how much that costs.
Yes.
The cost related for that.
That is a big cost. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being everything will work out perfect and 1 being you'll fail at school, how well do you think you're going to be able to adjust going back to school after the baby or even during your pregnancy?
During my pregnancy, it would be about an 8. I don't feel like anything will cause me to miss other than if I have a doctor's appointment or something like that. But after the baby's born, maybe a 6 because I'll have to get it up and ready to go wherever it's going to go while I'm at school. But there's different programs that I can get through the school that they'll watch my child. So if I can just get it to school with me, then somebody will be there to watch it.
And homework and your social life, how do you see that being affected?
Well, my social life will be affected because I'll have to take care of my child when I get home, but I guess my friends and I could go out when we have time, or they can come over to my house like they usually do. There'll just be a baby added to it.
When was the last time that you all's relationship was a good one?
Well, it was it was earlier. Probably, she's 14 now. I would say actually good would be when her dad and I were still married. It seems like a lot of these problems have surfaced since the divorce. So, and it seems to me like she's doing a lot of out of anger because of the divorce.
Do you think that could be a lot of it? You're doing it out of anger or
I don't think so.
seeking the male affection in the
I
wrong
don't think
ways?
so. I think it's just more that she doesn't understand me. Me and my dad were always closer, and like he understands me and stuff like that, but she just never has understood me and stuff like that. So
How do you think your life would be different today if you had went and lived with your dad?
I would probably get along with him a lot more than I have her. I would call her and come see her, but I don't feel like we would have trouble. I feel like my dad and maybe even my stepmom, I feel like we would be a lot closer than even my mom and I have been recently.
Do you think the baby would be in the picture at this point?
If I was with my dad,
Mm-hmm.
potentially because me and this guy have been together for a long time, so possibly.
Mom, how do you think your life would be if she had went and lived with her dad?
Well, it would definitely be different. Of course, I want my daughter in my life,
Yes.
so it would definitely be different. Um, but I wouldn't say that it would be better. You know, it would be, and it would. I think it would be harder for her adjusting to visitation, switching back and forth, and everything. So because she doesn't go to her dad's regular right now, so.
Do you see any end in this decision making as far as what happens to the baby, or
Um, as of right now, it doesn't look like there's going to be.
so I guess what we need to do from here is just try to figure out a way that we can make the best decision for the baby. Because while you have the baby's best interest, I'm sure you do, but obviously it may not be what's best for the baby. You may just be thinking about what's best for you or what you think is best at the time. And mom has been there, and she does give some good advice while you might not see it now. So maybe we can come to some kind of terms and agreements as to what we think we can do with the baby
Yeah, maybe.
as far as adoption or abortion, which your time for abortion is coming pretty close. So
Yeah, that's not an option.
that needs to be a decision that we make soon.
That's not going to happen at all.
Yeah, that
Have you,
option hadn't even been discussed because I don't agree with that either. But I do think adoption is the best way, and I mean, which because of our differences, we've actually not even discussed the different adoption methods, the open
Yes.
adoption and the different things. So because she's just determined that she's going to keep it. So
open adoption is something that you may want to look into. You would still get to be in the child's life. You would still get visitations. I think it's usually like once a year. You get to visit and be in the child's life. You get pictures, notes regularly. So that may be an option.
I mean, I guess it could be, but
And the agency provides really wonderful homes. And they'll let you pick the parent. That way you would still be in control.
I don't know.
So that might be an option to look into.
We can look into it, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. So,
Well, the last time we met, we had discussed that you all hadn't been even speaking in the same home. Is things better on that aspect?
I would say we're talking more. But
yeah,
Being more open with each other?
I'll tell her what I feel, but she's just being stubborn about everything and tells me I'm just wrong about everything. So
Do you think mom could be a little hurt at this moment and
I mean,
just being rough?
she could be hurt, and she probably is hurt, but she has to look at how her actions and words affect me too. So it's a two-way street, and we're just miscommunicating a lot. Like, we're probably just being like, I mean, we're probably being super rude to each other, and it's hurting both of us, and it's making probably both of us hate each other more. So.
Yes. So what do y'all think we can do to work on that?
I mean, I guess we can just start trying to talk to each other without arguing.
What about if we tried for the next week having a family dinner at least 2 times in the next week before we meet again? Just the 2 of you sit down and have dinner and talk about what's going on in your life and what your plans are and get some of those emotions out. And it's been a hard couple of months with the divorce and now the baby, and Mom, your job went from day shift to night shift, and that's a big change too. So maybe if we just tried at least 2 times to have dinner, just the 2 of you, and talk about what's going on and talk about the baby, and maybe if you would visit the adoption agency, they're just right down the street, 2 doors down, and they could tell you about open adoption, show you some of the families that's looking for a child right now.
Right.
Does that sound like something we can accomplish in the next week?
It does. I would also, I mean, with her options, I would also like for her to talk to other teen mothers
Yes.
who have been there and kept their child, just to hear their struggles too.
There is a teen mother support group that meets on Thursday evenings in the Civic Center, so that might be an option if you wanted to stop in down there. I think they usually meet around 6 o'clock in the afternoons. And that way you'll have some adoption insight and some teen moms of what they actually go through.
Okay.
All right. And we'll see how the week goes, and we'll meet back here on Tuesday if that works for you guys.
All right.
Okay.